Welcome back, everyone. Today's video is titled, CCTV Captures Missing Wife's Last Moments. What police find next is terrifying. Before we get into the video, I want to thank you all for the support you've given us over the last few months. It's been amazing to see our channel grow, and it's only possible because of your views and your comments. Thank you so much. We have another great story for you today. So, let's get into it. A woman was reported missing by her family after she did not show up for work one morning. The police began an investigation but had very few leads to go off of. Her car was found abandoned in a parking lot several miles away from her home. The police were able to retrieve footage from the parking lot, and what they saw on the camera shocked them. This is what the police found out. It was a Tuesday morning, and the sun was shining through the clouds. Birds could be heard tweeting in the trees, and the sound of cars could be heard driving on the road. It was just another normal day until it wasn't. Maria drove to work like she did every other day. She got up at 7 a.m., showered, got dressed, made breakfast, and kissed her husband goodbye before heading out the door. He knew that she would be working late that night, so he decided to make her dinner and surprise her when she got home. He knew how hard she had been working lately and thought it would be nice to take something off of her plate. When she pulled into the driveway, he would tell her how much he loved her and how proud he was of her. But today was not that day. When Maria got up, she decided to run a quick errand before going to work. It was nothing important, just some milk and eggs. She figured that she would swing by the grocery store on her way to work and grab them so she wouldn't have to make another trip later. She didn't want to be a bother to her husband and knew he would be busy with work. So she wanted to take this small chore off his plate. It was no big deal. She pulled into the parking lot and headed inside. After grabbing the items she needed, she headed to the checkout. When she got home that evening, she knew that she needed to pick something up from the pharmacy. She looked at the clock and realized that she was running late. She quickly got changed and headed out the door. She could call her husband and let him know that she would be home late, but she knew he would just worry. So she didn't bother. She would just let him think that she was at work. Maria parked her car in the parking lot and headed to the pharmacy. She didn't realize that this would be the last time anyone would see her alive. She stepped out of her car and walked briskly toward the entrance of the pharmacy. She was wearing a blue jacket and jeans, and her hair was tied back in a ponytail. She looked around to make sure that she was in the right place and then started walking toward the door. She took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Meanwhile, back at home, John was getting worried. He hadn't heard from Maria all day and knew that she would never go this long without calling him. He tried calling her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. He knew that she had her phone with her at all times and would never ignore his calls. He decided to go out looking for her, but he couldn't find her anywhere. He tried calling the pharmacy and the grocery store, but neither had seen her. He was starting to get really worried now. He drove around the neighborhood looking for her, but still couldn't find her. He even checked with their friends to see if she had been there, but nobody had seen her. He was starting to panic now. What if she had been kidnapped? What if something had happened to her? He called the police and reported her missing. The police began searching for Maria, but they didn't have much to go on. She had no known enemies, and no one had seen her since she left the house. They did, however, have some leads. Her car was found abandoned in the parking lot of the pharmacy where she had gone to pick up her prescription. The police were able to retrieve surveillance footage from the pharmacy, and what they saw on the camera shocked them. It was Maria, but she wasn't alone. As Maria entered the pharmacy, a man followed close behind her. The man was tall and thin and was wearing a hoodie and sunglasses. He was also carrying a large duffel bag. Maria seemed to notice the man and was trying to get away from him, but he was following her everywhere she went. She tried to call out for help, but no one was around to hear her. The man was getting closer and closer, and she could feel her heart racing. She knew that she had to do something to get away from him, but what? The man was now standing right behind her, and she could feel his breath on her neck. She screamed and tried to fight him off, but he was too strong for her. He put a hand over her mouth to stifle her scream and the other over her eyes to blind her. She could feel tears streaming down her face, but she couldn't see. She struggled against him. but he was too strong. She felt herself being dragged along the ground and knew that she was being taken away. The man dragged Maria out of the pharmacy and into his car. He shoved her into the back seat and slammed the door shut. He then got into the driver's seat and sped away. Maria could feel herself being pushed further and further away from everything she knew. She didn't know where she was going or what would happen to her, but she knew that she had to be strong. She owed it to herself, but also to her husband. He would be worried sick about her, and she needed to be strong for him. The police were able to track down the owner of the car, and they were shocked to find out that it was John. Where was he taking Maria? Why had he kidnapped her? And most importantly, where were they now? The police followed John's car and eventually lost him in a crowd of other vehicles. They knew that they had to stop following him, but not before taking a mental note of his license plate number. They were hoping that they would be able to track down where he lived so they could question him. The police arrived at John's house and knocked on the door. No one answered. They tried again, but still no answer. They were starting to get worried now. Had they been following the wrong guy? Was Maria even here? They decided to break in and search the house. Inside the house, the police found Maria's car, but no sign of her or John. They continued to search the house and eventually found a basement door. They opened the door and started heading down the stairs. As they descended the stairs, they could hear voices coming from below. They reached the bottom of the stairs and were shocked to find Maria and John in the basement. John was kneeling on the ground in front of Maria and was begging for her forgiveness. Maria was sitting on a chair and was crying. The police quickly apprehended John and took him into custody. They asked Maria if she was okay, and she nodded. She was shaken, but unharmed. The police then turned their attention to John. They asked him why he had kidnapped his own wife, and he replied that he had no choice. He had killed Maria and needed to dispose of her body. The police were shocked. What had possessed John to kill his own wife? John told the police that he had been planning to kill Maria for some time now. He had recently found out that she had been having an affair and was planning to leave him. He had confronted her about it, and she had admitted to it. That's when he had decided that he needed to get rid of her. He had planned to make it look like she had been kidnapped so that he could collect on her life insurance policy. John led the police to where he had buried Maria's body, and they were able to recover it. He was then charged with murder and kidnapping, and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave a comment. We appreciate your support and hope that you've enjoyed our latest story.